Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Thfc Till I Die, your home at Tottenham, past, present, and future. Philip, look, Mr. Brady, look, how are you, sir? But what are we in now? Another week, another Kane story, another Kane. I'm sick of it now. Look, and really, who is to blame for the Kane mess? But look, just give us your quick thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's very hard to blame. The guy is under contract to Tottenham, right? So it's very hard to put blame under anybody from the Tottenham side. I honestly think Bayern Munich are to blame for the way they've tapped him up illegally and have kept this incessant pressure through the German press to unsettle Harry Kane, which has obviously worked. And it's very hard to blame Spurs for it because I mean we've behaved like we should with any of our players that are under contract. We've attempted to keep them. We've said he's not for sale. But it's come to the stage now where I think this week or next week we'll probably see the end of this saga, and I don't think it's going to be a happy ending for Tottenham fans. Unfortunately, I think Bayern Munich have got away with it basically.
Well, look, I've actually put it into a poll. Who to blame for the Kane mess? I said Tottenham at 33%. Nobody's blaming Kane. Everyone. That includes Bayern Munich, 46%, and Kane's brother at 15%. I think
he's not blameless. He's not blameless, you know. But I think he's not the one that sent the German reporters to the press conference with the Kane shirt. You know,
no, but
that sort
Philip,
of stuff is unforgivable.
Yeah, before we go to the chat, though, come on, let's be real here. Harry Kane has to take some responsibility as well.
Well, it's probably a situation that the pressure from Bayern Munich and his brother probably have put him into. Like he's had his head turned definitely by the offer that Bayern Munich are making, which I believe is a 4-year contract, which I should say goes against their principles of offering contracts to 30-year-olds and over of only 1 year up to now. So it's going to cause a bit of a ruction amongst the existing players. They'll all be looking for similar contracts now. So this might not turn out as well for Bayern as I hoped it will, if providing they get Harry Kane. It could cause a lot of unrest in their own ranks. But listen, there's probably a little bit of blame to go everywhere. But I think for once, I don't think Tottenham the club can be blamed for this. I think we've handled it. We've handled it as well as we can.
They've seen this coming down the road for. I was talking to Dave earlier, and Dave made the point. They've seen this coming down the road for the last 2 years. And his point.
What could they do about it? What could they do?
Well, buy centre backs, make the team better, so he does sign the new contract. The new
contract. That's all well and good. But that doesn't mean buying 2 new centre backs a year ago does not guarantee that Harry Kane will want to sign a new contract, unless we won a trophy in the intermediate time, which we didn't. Right, so like it's hypothetical to say that buying 2 centre backs would keep Harry Kane at the club. It might do, but it might just as well not. He might want to go anyway, you know. So like, look, we signed James Maddison. It hasn't changed his mind, has it?
No, that's true. That is so true. But Philip, let's use it. We've got a lot to go through. Also, we've got the sad news. We're going to start off on Trevor Franson sadly passing away. We're going to go through his career very quickly, and Philip can tell us a little about the time he moved from Birmingham City to Forest, the first 1 million. And Philip, very quickly, that actually wasn't a 1 million transfer. That was a 1.15 million transfer after everything.
No, they just used a million as a kind of a. It was easier to say a million than 1.15 million, you know.
But did you know that 15% of that transfer went to the Football League?
Probably did, yeah. There was probably some clause in his contract back in the day. I'll tell you, it wouldn't happen now.
No, it wouldn't
happen now.
Big up to Wilton McDonald. He says, good morning, all. We've got Ryan Tottenham forever. Big up, Dermo. How are you and how's the weather? Lovely. As I stick my head out the window, lovely, sunny, warm, and a lovely day in the East Coast here in Ireland. How's it where you are, Philip?
Yeah, it's not too bad today, actually. It hasn't rained yet, which is quite a miracle.
It is a miracle for us over here. No wonder we have green lands and green mountains and loads of vegetables and fruit and everything and apricots. Afternoon, like a drunken pints of Guinness. Afternoon, guys, and afternoon in the chat. We've got G Mac as well. I haven't seen you before, but big up G Mac. And he says, afternoon, gents and chatters, and everyone. We've got Carl Simpson. Big up, Carl. Good afternoon, guys. Everyone is to blame Wilton is saying, I'm looking forward to the discussion. I am splitting who is responsible for us not winning a trophy. Ultimately, the players take the greatest share of the blame. We've got Jim, big up Jim. Hi, Philip Derman, my fellow Spurs lovers. We've got Wembley 1 afternoon, chaps. Do you remember those heady days of just 3 weeks when Ange joined and we actually got a bit business done? Well, Danny was quickly ensuring that normal service has been returned. Look, very quickly, a lot of teams are out different parts of the world at the moment, and it's very difficult at the moment to get transfers done.
There are very few. There are very few of them happening. If you notice, very few transfers happening.
Yeah. So we have to wait and see what happens in that. Big up Wembley 1. Well, we've been in the finals, so it tests with the players. Who else got? We've got Ellie in as well. Big up Dermot and Philip. Totally fed up with the Kane saga. It is so Jane Drooler. It's so Jane Drooler. Okay, there you go. We have Smudger. Why we bother about Kane? Get rid of him. Invest the money that will make us stronger in other positions. Look at Dortmund. They are well run. Sell a good player and always find an equal replacement. That is so true. And Philip, one thing about Harry Kane, it didn't cost us anything. He came through the ranks. We got very lucky with Harry Kane. We actually did get lucky. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going to make a massive profit on him when we sell him, But it doesn't take the bad taste away. All this last couple of weeks has left with everybody.
Well, I think, yeah. Let's put it this way: the whole Kane silence, the crap around it all, is making it more palatable for him leaving. Yeah. Spurs Ninja. Sure. There's my Bruce Lee impression. And as Philip thinks, Dermot's totally lost the plot in the corner there. I'm with a wacko. Big up the panel and chat. Rest in peace, Trevor. Yeah, we are going to talk a little bit about Trevor Franson. Rest in peace, Trevor Francis. Word to McDonald. HK wants to leave. That's it. We missed the boat when Toby and Van left. We had no backup then, and it's same for Kane. No backup for several seasons. Well, Philip, look, that's everyone in, and please pick up your memberships and send in your super chats as well that do help the channel grow, and they help us get new equipment and make these shows better so we can continue on our journey to 10K. We're nearly at halfway point of getting to 2K. So come on, let's get there. And then we've got GMAC. I'm a first-time watcher, mate. Queen Ellie put the link in our group chat. So, I thought I'd tune in. Well, big up GMAC. Please hit that like button and subscription button and notification. And we'll one every day at 4, plus watch-alongs and the podcast. And then the debate shows on Saturday. And loads more to come during the season. We've got Jim here. The thing is with Kane, we'll end up keeping him. And he fires us to Champions League. We will be pleased we've kept him. I can't see him saying, to be honest. That's just my opinion. And as always, good ninja moves, though. See, at least somebody appreciates my Bruce Lee, inner Bruce Lee. Right, Philip, let's start with the sad news that broke this morning. Mr. Trevor Francis, 65 or 69, was he, Philip?
69, yeah, 69.
Died of a heart attack in his home in Spain very suddenly, apparently. So very, very sad news, Philip. Very quickly, his playing career made over 626 appearances and scored 231 goals. He played for Man City, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield Wednesday, Sampdoria. He played in Italy with Sampdoria and Atlanta, played in Scotland with Rangers, and then went on to QPR and Sheffield Wednesday. 2 teams he actually managed, Philip, in his managerial career. He managed Queen's Park Rangers, Wednesday. Now, Sheffield Wednesday was his most successful time. Got them to the League Cup and the FA Cup final in '93, where they lost both to Arsenal, if I remember rightly. The FA Cup final, I think, went to a replay, didn't it, Philip, that year?
I think so. Yeah, it did, actually. Yeah.
And can you name me the one Spurs player that played in that final against Arsenal for Sheffield Wednesday?
Chris Waddle. There
you go. That was a good Sheffield Wednesday side, actually, at that time.
It wasn't bad, actually. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. Did they win the League Cup then in '95? I think beat Man United, I think, as well, or was it '92?
Maybe. I honestly don't know. I can't remember that one.
Yeah. International, he played for England. He made 52 appearances and 12 goals scoring for England. I think he played
Not a great goal scoring record for England, really. Was it 12 goals?
No,
I thought
yeah.
he would have got more.
He started in 2 major tournaments. I think it was the 1980 European Championships and the 1982 FIFA World Cup in Spain,
yeah.
where England actually went out undefeated in that stupid group,
Right.
Group A and Group B and whatever. They went out there. And of course, then Philip, he was the first £1 million player, Nottingham Forest, reigning First Division champions and League Cup holders, managed by Brian Clough, put in a bid for Francis, which totaled over £1 million. No player had ever been sold between 2 English clubs for a 7-figure fee before. The first, while the record was less than half. The deal was sealed, with Francis famously being introduced to the media by a manager impatient to play squash. It's true though, and I've seen the videos of it. It is quite funny. Clough was in his red gym kit and carrying a racket as he addressed.
Just one sec while you're reading.
While recognising as the first British £1 million player, the actual transfer fee for the player was £1.15 million, including 50% commission to the Football League. Now, Clough wrote in his autobiography that the fee was actually £99,999.99, as he wanted to ensure the £1 million milestone did not go to the player's head, although Francis said that was tongue-in-cheek remark by Brian Clough. So, yeah, look, Brian Clough, don't really remember him playing much because I was too young. But, the first £1 million player scored the winner in the 1979 European Cup to get Forest their first European Cup triumph. And then, of course, retained it the following year. He then got an injury in the end of that season and was badly injured. Nelly actually retired. So we have to see. But very sad news today from Spain about Trevor Francis. So our condolences to him and his family. Let's see who's in. 3 likes. Hit that button, peeps. Yeah, please come on. Hit that like button. That's what we want to see. Big up Rob Belcher. So what's the latest in the world of THFC? You will find out in a minute. Carl Simpson, Kane has gone 100%. He might as well have handed in the transfer request again, as the silence says it. Oh, yeah. Look, for me, Carl, I think enough's enough. This is now gone on too much. He's either going to stay, sign the contract, or go. One or the other. Silence is no good for anyone. It just leaves a vacuum for people to add in their own, what they think, reporters, news organizations like Sky and Talk Sport, just to add in the vacuum of putting news in there. But look, it has to be done one way or the other. I said earlier, Kane needs to make a statement either way. Who loved and supported him, maybe not 100% of the way, we deserve that. And I think we do deserve that. I think, as I said, it leaves a vacuum. As Philip is on to Daniel Levy, they're trying to find out what the latest on the Kane situation is. But I'll take Philip out, and Philip can give me a wave once he's done. Look, it leaves a vacuum, which isn't the best for Tottenham at the moment. And if you think about it, we've been very patient with Harry Kane. Harry Kane's been our biggest goal scorer, biggest player since Jimmy Greaves. But will we survive without Harry Kane? And the answer to that is yes. We've lost people like Jimmy Greaves, Glenn Hoddle, strikers in the past as well. And we've Tottenham have gone on without them. But almost every media you read every day is another Kane story. And all Kane's got to come out to do is say, look, I'm staying at Spurs. And that's the end of it. And then that will stop it. But it just keeps it going on and on and on and on. And it's getting very boring. It's getting very frustrating. And it's actually overshadowing the good transfer work we've done this summer. I mean, we've got James Madison in. We've got a new goalkeeper in. Yes, we need centre-backs. We know that. And the centre-backs are important. So, look, as I said before, also that transfers will go down very slow because of the teams being halfway around the world at the moment. You wait for the team to get back into Europe or back into their home base, then you might see more transfers starting. But look, we have to see this Kane situation for me is getting ridiculous, and I'm getting bored with it. Rob Belcher, I saw Francis on his Birmingham debut. Wow. let us know what the score was and who we played at. We've got G-Max. Probably a double-edged sword. Goes because he's won one, and goes and because he's fed up with not winning one. Now, Philip, look, I'm fed up with this thing saying it's, oh, I want to win a trophy. But he's been in finals. He's been in 2 League Cup finals. He's been in FA Cup finals. When did he then, when was he then being our big Daleks man, dragging us over the line? A player like, you see players over the years, Philip, that are big game players. The team's playing badly. They drag us over the line. Why,
Harry Kane.
He's had his chances.
Harry Kane has dragged us over the line in innumerable matches, right? But unfortunately, none of them have been finals or semi-finals.
No.
For whatever reason. It's just unfortunate, you know. I mean, he's won us games we should never have won. We know that with his goals. But it's just unfortunate, never actually turned up in a big game. And that might be psychological. It might be just pure bad luck. I think I'm more inclined to say it's more bad luck because good players are generally good all the time. You know, they don't go quiet in the cup final.
Yeah, but he hasn't done it for his country either. So people are saying G-Max says here.
Oh, well, now he's a leading scorer for England. What do you want? I mean, do they think Harry Kane can win the World Cup on his own for England? No chance. I mean, but look at him. He's a record goal scorer. I mean, you've got to give him credit for that. He's our record goal scorer. Got to give him credit for that, you know?
Yeah, right. I'm going to say something here, Philip. Now, you may disagree with this, and I think you may what I'm going to say, but I'm going to put it out there. You look at Jimmy Greaves in finals for Tottenham, okay? He always was there, led on a goal, or he always got Tottenham there, right? He always got Tottenham over the line. You look at, I always use this, you look at the 86 Argentinian side, all right? Maradona, a very average Argentinian side. But Maradona,
I think they disagree with that now, to be honest.
Well, no, but the point I'm making,
they were average.
No, but they were average. There wasn't many great players in that Argentinian side, and Maradona dragged that team to the World Cup to win the World Cup.
Yeah, with the referees, with the aid of the hand of God as well.
Well, but look, I'm put that to one side, Philip. But the point I'm making is,
but it was instrumental in them getting there. It was instrumental in them getting there. You've got to say, without that, he mightn't have got there at all. You know.
No, big players turn up for big games and drag teams over the line. Harry Kane's supposed to be he's a record goal scorer for Tottenham. He's the record goal scorer for Tottenham, for England. But for big games, he hasn't dragged us over the line. Glenn Hoddle dragged us over the line. Graham Roberts dragged us over the line. So
okay, fair enough. I mean, you can't argue with the facts. But I mean, the fact that he hasn't done it, I'm sure it's not on purpose. It just hasn't happened. He hasn't been, you know. He's had other players as well that probably let him down badly in situations like that, where we could have won something. You know, then you've got the Champions League final where he shouldn't have started, obviously. And you've got a referee who gives a penalty for a ball hitting somebody's shoulder after 29 seconds. You can't legislate for things like that, you know. Let's just face it. Harry Kane is our record goal scorer. He's got us over the line in numerous occasions. He didn't do it in a cup final or semi-final. That's history. It's not going to change. Let's leave it at that. We can't change history, you know.
No, I know. And look, the Champions League final, I get what you're meaning, Philip. But he
shouldn't have played in that.
He shouldn't have played in that.
He wasn't fit. He wasn't fit.
And is that the problem? Was that the problem that everyone thinks Harry Kane's the Levy and everyone thinks Harry Kane is the big man? He must play these major finals. Where if a stronger manager had been saying, no, we're going to play more up front, we're going to keep Kane on the bench, come on with 20 minutes to go if we need a goal.
I certainly think that decision by Pochettino was the beginning of the end for Pochettino.
Yeah, it was.
If Mauricio Pochettino had played Lucas Moura and that result had been different and we'd have won that game, or you know, and Kane had come on with the last 20 minutes, Pochettino would probably still be our manager now, and we'd probably have a load of trophies in the bag. But the manager made the mistake. Harry Kane was not going to refuse a place in the Champions League final. Nobody would, right? Now I don't know how much he disguised his fitness or lack of it. He must have passed some sort of fitness test to go there, but he wasn't match fit. He hadn't played for a while. He wasn't sharp enough, and that's why he shouldn't have started. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It happened, and you can't change that.
No, and also, Philip, when the Man City bid came in and he did that interview with Gary Neville, and Dave said it to me today. Me and Dave were talking about this quite for a bit about Kane, and he made the point that everyone was on get Kane out. He doesn't want to play for Spurs, and then for the first, say, 3 matches after that, he didn't turn up for Tottenham. He wasn't playing. He down tools. Do you think that history could repeat itself at the start of this season, Philip, or do you think Kane will be a bit more savvy about what he does now at the start of this season?
If I was Harry Kane, right, and I really wanted to go to Bayern Munich, and that does not happen, I would find it very hard to motivate myself. So I think it's very, very possible the same thing might happen. Now, he might be too much of a professional and too much regard for Spurs to do that again. But I think if he has to wait another year to get a move away from Spurs, I don't think he's going to be in the best of humour waiting for that year to go around. And we're not going to be in good humour either. No, he can walk away for nothing next June. So I think the bottom line is now, reluctantly say it, time to say goodbye to Harry Kane. And the future is going to be there without him. And we will get through it. We've got through it so many times in the past. When Glenn Hoddle left, everybody thought we were doomed. We weren't. You know, when Berbatov left, when Robbie Keane left, when Jimmy Greaves left, it's happening every few years. And Harry Kane has been brilliant for Tottenham. He's been a leading goal scorer, that with a record that will probably never be beaten, right? And yeah, I think if the money is right, he should be let go, and we have to look to the future from now on.
Yeah. I want to say big up to Val Taylor as well. Levy can put an end to the Kane saga by selling Kane, who wants to leave us. Use the money to buy centre-backs, then everyone is happy. But Levy wants more money, thus making the situation difficult. I don't think that's the case. But I will tell you what I've been told in a minute. And I'm proud that Kane played for us for so long. And we didn't get rid of him, the likes of Chelsea. I've sold Mason Mount. But it's time for him to move on. I wish him well so long as abroad. Right, the latest, Jim is asking, Derm, what have you been told about the Kane saga? Right, Kane, where's Kane? Here we go. Now, what I've been told is Bayern will bid €100 million. Now, if that works out, Philip, around about 90 million pound.
About 85 million. So.
Now, this will be plus add-ons. What I've been told, it will get us over the 100 million. Daniel Levy's still hoping Kane will sign a new contract.
Okay.
Apparently, Jan Christian Dresden will not travel to Japan with the team and will stay in Munich in order to meet Daniel Levy for the next round of talks over Harry Kane, scheduled for the end of the week, Philip. And what else I'm hearing is Manchester United could revive their interest in Harry Kane after being informed that Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy has been told by the club's majority owner, Joe Lewis, which we will explain it wasn't Joe Lewis. A lot of people have actually got this confused, and we'll explain why in a minute. What I've been told, the striker cannot be allowed to run down his contract and leave for nothing next year. And I think the last bit of news there, Philip, if Harry is sold this window, Tottenham will get both VDV and Tapsoba. So what do you think toward that news, Philip?
I think the Manchester United bit of it's not true, because I'm after reading somewhere today that the forward the Manchester United are after, I think they've agreed terms with him. This young 19-year-old lad, whatever the hell you call him. I can't remember his name now. The thing about 100, if we get 100 million for Harry Kane, he's gone. Absolutely gone. There is no doubt about it. And, you know, you could not refuse an offer that size. The thing about Joe Lewis, it's not Joe Lewis, it's his granddaughter. And it's, although there is a trust involved there. And I even heard a figure mentioned that Harry Kane wanted even more than that to stay at Tottenham. Am I correct in saying that? He's demanding an absolutely huge figure. You're muted. Dermot, I can't hear you.
Shows how unprofessional I am. It's not John Lewis himself, Philip. It's not the granddaughter herself. It's the Lewis
trust. It's a trust.
It's the trust. Now, we know Joe Lewis in October of last year put all his shares over to a lawyer in the Bahamas, and he's still ahead of that trust, but his granddaughter sort of looks after it for him. So it's that trust that has told Daniel Levy. They're looking at more as a more business transfer now, more than a football transfer. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, where did I put it now? Anyway, I've got it here. Sorry. I read it out for you now. Harry Kane wants 30 million a year in wages. The new contract is still on the table, but it's gotten to the point of sign or sell order from the Lewis family. Now, and also just news coming in as well. Don't expect a statement from Kane unless he leaves or signs a new contract. His PR team doesn't want him to make one at the present time. So that's actually the very latest.
I can understand that, yeah. But 30 million a year is almost 600 grand a week, 550 grand a week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Harry, you're not getting that. You're not getting that anywhere, nowhere.
Well, the Spurs fans are saying, yeah, pay him that. Keep him at the club.
No. But then, that's going to happen there is, right, you've got Son who's on 150 grand a week. So, I want a pro rata increase in my wages. I want 300 grand a week. It's going to cause unrest in the dressing room, no matter how friendly and how nice a guy Harry Kane is. When you hear somebody's getting their wages nearly tripled and you're staying on the same wage that you're on, that's going to cause unrest. It will cause unrest at any workplace, and football teams are no different. So if they give in to 500 and 600 grand a week or whatever it is, I'm afraid I fear for the future of the club. We will not survive paying out that sort of money, given the demands that are going to follow from the other players. Yeah.
Now, the poll at the moment, who's to blame for the Kane mess? Tottenham at 50%, Kane with no percent at all. Everyone 37%, and Kane's brother at 13%.
50% for Tottenham, 50% for everybody else, and basically.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going to happen now, though? How's that going to go if Harry Kane is sold, right? Is the next poll going to be who do you blame for Harry Kane leaving the club? It'll probably turn to 100% Tottenham. They'll suddenly forget the Bayern Munich involvement. The Bayern Munich have behaved like thugs, basically, in this whole thing from the start.
Well, you can't blame everything on Bayern Munich, Philip.
I'm not blaming everything on Bayern Munich, but I'm saying they're the instigators of this. So they are the main protagonists. They're the ones that have caused this stuff. They're the ones that have been stoking the flames of trying to unsettle Harry Kane, and it's worked. It's actually worked.
Yeah, well, look, it's happened before, Philip, but maybe it's never got out. It's happened that other clubs have tapped other players up, and it's never got out in the media. But this one has been leaked by somebody.
Yeah, usually this has been front page news in Germany for weeks. It's been open season. They went out of their way to make this public when they should have been keeping it quiet, because there could be repercussions still for them. UEFA could still take a case against Bayern Munich on this. Just to make an example of them, But listen, what I'd rather see now? I'd rather see us talking about who's coming into Tottenham, and let's leave the Harry Kane scenario, because everybody's fed up with it, right? And every time we say we're not going to mention it, we have to mention it because something new has happened on it. And I, for one, now, I love Harry Kane to bits, but I love the club more. And I think, Harry, it's been great having you, but off you go on your next adventure, and we'll replace you, and we'll be fine.
We've got a few people here before. For just your thoughts on this, Philip. Any clear evidence that Mrs. Kane is house hunting in Munich? No, there were rumors.
That was billed. That came on from the same newspaper that they sent that idiot reporter, Max Sharma.
Yeah, but it was also
with the shirt.
I think it was.
Yeah, and where did they get it from? Where did they get it from? Initially, where did they get it from? Billed. It came from the German newspaper. So no, there's no clear evidence at all.
Yeah. We've got Peter M. If we give Kane too much, it will upset the race structure, as you said, and undermine the financial soundness of the club. That matters too.
That's exactly what I'm after saying. It's exactly what I'm after saying.
It does matter, Philip, because every club's got to work within a budget. Yeah, and you look at PSG and what's happening there. With that, we will go into that later. But you look what's happening there, and it's no place bigger than any club, but is Harry Kane so important to Tottenham that we have to throw everything at it to make sure he stays with us?
No, the brother Charlie Kane is making out that's the case. Harry Kane is bigger than Tottenham. He's banking on that the Spurs will cave in or whatever, pay the big money, which they'd be mad to do. So, as Ollie said, we are not Kane FC, we are Spurs. Exactly.
Yeah.
We are. I mean, it's gone to the stage now where it's gone beyond the realms of credibility that we're going to pay a guy 600 grand a week just to keep him happy, right?
Yeah.
And unsettle the rest of the team. Where's the sense in that? Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So
we would have a mutiny in the dressing room. I guarantee you, the Spurs players would go on strike nearly if that happened.
Yeah. So who is to blame, Philip? Is it Harry Kane? Is it Daniel Levy? Is it Joe Lewis? Well, we don't. It's the Lewis family now. They've now followed the same suit as PSG by telling the top player, you're either sign this contract or will you move on? And do you think it's the right approach to come down that the club at last are taking some sort of stance on this matter?
Yeah, they've been softly so long now. Now they've put the hobnail boots on and they're putting the boot in. Quite rightly so. They've got him. They're trying to elicit a decision out of Harry Kane and his entourage, and I think that is the right way to go about it. It's putting the gun to his head, right? It's now showing him whether his loyalty to Tottenham is greater than his loyalty to his agent and his bank balance and his huge salary, and maybe his ambition to win the Champions League. But I think he'll always love Tottenham. We'll always love him, right? But the time has come, I think, where the parting of the ways has to happen, because if he stays, as I keep saying, I don't want to keep repeating myself. If he stays, the other players will be some of them will be happy. The younger players won't give a shit because they're not going to be on that sort of money anyway. But the players that like Son, that the higher earners in the club, are going to be made restless. And you'll find Kane goes this summer. I guarantee you, if Kane stays this summer and goes in the next transfer window free, Sonny will follow him. Sonny will be gone as well.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with that, Philip. But look, I've got just a bit more.
But Sonny's already turned down Saudi Arabia. He's not turning down next year.
I don't think so, Philip. But look, I just got a bit of news here that's come into us. It's actually what I've been told. This Manchester United link to Kane won't go away. Here's someone that Eric Ten Hag wants at the club. I have heard from United officials that they will look into it, but with FFP restrictions, they understand that a deal may be impossible to do this summer. So look, some fans are saying run the risk, keep him here, don't sell him, keep him to January, and then in January he can sign with anyone in Europe, and then in the summer he can sign with anywhere he wants in the summer. Do you run the risk of doing that, Philip, or do you think enough's enough? We're going to bite the bullet here and
bite the bullet. But we cannot let Harry Kane. Daniel Levy would be absolutely insane to sell Harry Kane to Manchester United or any English club when he's under contract at Spurs. And then we can't run the risk of going to next June and allowing Harry Kane to sign for them for nothing. And that's the biggest thing. That's the thing now. I still don't feel there's no way Harry Kane is going to be a Manchester United player. And to be honest with you, any United fans that I've talked to, they don't want him. They want a younger player that can come in and develop. They can work into their own system. So I don't. That United thing, while it keeps cropping up, I think it's an easy one for the reporters and the press to keep on the back burner because it's always there and they can always keep using it when there's a slow news day. You know, so I mean, to me, Kane to United is a no-goer now. Next summer, if we keep him, it could well be.
Yeah. We've got Daniel. He says, "I'm sorry. Has a football player, Kane is just doing his job, honouring his contract. He shouldn't have to come out and issue a statement. This is all on Spurs for not getting a grip of this situation." Look, many people have saying, and then we've got someone here from Jim Philip, and I want you to have your say in this. Right, I don't totally agree with this comment, but I want to know what you think. Jim Spurs Till and I say it's the hierarchy's fault for not buying players to match Kane's ambition when we was flying under Poch.
I actually agree with that in a way because this is where Daniel Levy is culpable for the situation at the minute by not acting 4 or 5 years ago when Levy, when it didn't replace Toby Alderweireld or Jan Vertonghen properly, when we had the chance to. If he'd done that, we mightn't be in this situation now. We probably wouldn't be. So from that point of view, like while Daniel Levy is actually at the present, might be not, he's doing things for the best interest of the club. He didn't do it, those transfer windows when we didn't buy any players. And that could be coming back to bite him in the ass now with the Harry Kane scenario. So Jim is right there,
it's hard to disagree with what he's saying, Philip. Look, we could have been a bit more in the track. We went 3 windows without buying anyone. So maybe
It's
that's where
unprecedented. No major club has ever done that except us.
No. But people say, yeah, but we were building a new stadium. But I've always had the idea of I'd rather have White Hart Lane and a great team than the new stadium and a crap team.
Yeah, but this thing about using the finance for the stadium as an excuse for not buying players isn't correct. The finance for the stadium is completely ring fenced away from it. It's totally separate.
I wasn't using it as an excuse.
No, I know you weren't. A lot of people have used that excuse. It's not. The money has been there. We know the money's there. We know the money. We're one of the richest clubs in the world, but we just seem to like to keep the money in the bank. Yeah,
I think we're 9th richest. I think there. Val says Sonny will see out his contract and go. Also, we've got the man himself. Kate's just joined. Big up everyone. Big up Kate. We got. Where has he gone? Where has he gone now?
I saw Mr. Harris there a minute ago.
I did see Mr. Harris. There he is. And he's saying he agrees with Jim as well. Yeah. Big up, Dave.
Yeah.
He says Jim is spot on. And everyone, please get over to the Irish Hotspur and hit a subscription on that channel. Now, Philip, this Kane news, but I want to stay away from that now a little bit. And we're going to go into another bit of transfer news here now. That Spartak Moscow have submitted a 12 million euro bid for Davinson Sanchez. Talks are at an advanced stage with Tottenham. Now, firstly, Philip, hooray, he's going to be sold. Let's all rejoice. Secondly, why in the hell and why in anything that is holy you would go to Moscow and play your football, especially around this time?
I don't know. Listen, if he goes to Moscow, fair dues to him. I wouldn't go to Moscow if you paid me at the moment. I think anyone going to Russia, chances are it'd probably be sanctioned because they're sanctioning everybody that goes to Russia at the moment. Listen, if they want to pay 12 million from, let them go. Fair enough. The Russian league, no European football, no chance to play anywhere outside Russia. Maybe that suits him. Maybe he just wants to go for a retirement home and earn a few bob. Is it for his own sake? He'd be better off going to Galatasaray or going to PSV. But if they offer him 12 million for him, snap their hand off, get him out of the club, and happy days. Yeah, for us.
But we need to replace him, though, Philip. We can start.
But this is all the thing. You know, we will replace. We will. We all know we are in the process of buying centre backs. This young Tosin lad from Fulham now looks like for 25 million with 1 year left on his contract. He's looking very possible. So we will replace. I'm not worried about the centre back situation yet. We will get at least 2 centre backs in before the.
I think long. So. And look, Philip. Look, if we do start next season with. We could have got Longley, which everyone was saying to me I was mad for saying having Longley back. But I'd rather have a Longley and Romero in the back line than a Dyer and a Romero in the back line. Yeah. And I know people don't agree with me when it comes to Longley. I think Longley is a better option than having an Eric Dyer back there, to be fair.
Well, the ideal scenario for me would be to have Romero, Van der Ven and Tapsoba, all the guys Tosin from Fulham, right? 2 out of them. 2 out of those 3, right? And also bring in Longley, which isn't going to cost that much, as a good backup squad player. You know, I know a lot of people don't fancy him as a starter, but I think he'd be a good guy to have in the background, and just in case one of the lads gets injured. And if we got those 2 and Longley, I think that would be a very good transfer window.
I agree with Carl Simpson. That's what I'm hearing as well. That VDV and Tosin and Tapsoba and Nelson are all waiting for players to be gone.
Yeah.
So so it's 1 out, 1 in. I think that's going to be,
and that's probably where Højbjerg comes into it.
Yeah, because what I'm hearing also, he has agreed personal terms with who's he?
Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, and also the transfer fee that's been mentioned is quite tasty.
It is. It's very
35 million. 35 million. Yeah. So I mean that buys you that 35 for him and 12 for Sanchez, 47 million. You're not far off your 2 centre backs for that.
No, you're not. Right. This is the news that broke yesterday, Philip. Now, I want to clear this up once and for all.
Harry again, are we?
No, but this is about, just to give another side of it, Philip. Now, this news broke yesterday. Now, Tottenham owner Joe Lewis tells Daniel Levy he must sell Harry Kane this summer. This came off the Daily Mail website. Now, I only took it off there because it was the only place I could get a proper, headline to it. And I did look.
Paper.
Yeah, they must have done. Anyway,
Yeah, carry on.
Philip will be looking for the Daily Mail on Facebook and writing them a personal message after this show. Anyway,
If I haven't done it by now, I never will.
I don't know with you. Anyway, yeah, you could be the secret 007 we don't know about. But anyway, Tottenham owner Joe Lewis tells Daniel Levy he must sell Harry Kane this summer if the striker doesn't sign a new £400,000 a week deal, boosting Bayern Munich's hopes of signing the England star. Now, it goes on to say Tottenham owner Joe Lewis has told chairman Daniel Levy. Now, I want to stop there. It wasn't Joe Lewis that told Daniel Levy. It was the Lewis family who are head of the trust. Lewis.
Now you know why I don't trust the Daily Mail.
Yeah, well, Joe Lewis is into his 80s. But there is a question. Yeah, he's 86. So it's into his trust with his lawyers. And I think his granddaughter is the head of that, if I'm right. That's what I've been told. Now, I could be wrong on that, but that's what I've been told. That Harry Kane must be sold this summer if the striker refuses to sign a new contract. Levy's determined Kane will not be allowed to see out his current deal and leave for free when it expires next summer. Levy values Kane at £100 million, but will come under pressure to sell the England captain before the transfer deadline if he refuses to accept new terms, understood to be up to £400,000 a week. Bayern Munich have already had 2 bids for Kane rejected, are now preparing a third offer, which is €100 million. The German champions are confident that a deal can be done, and Kane's wife, Kate, is said to have looked at houses. Well, look, she's heavily
That's
pregnant.
Not right, anyway.
No, because she's heavily pregnant.
Dude, she wouldn't have gone over there. She's 7 months pregnant, for God's sake. She wouldn't even be allowed in an aircraft, never mind if she wanted to go herself.
Yeah.
You know? No, that's rehashing all we've talked about already, Dermot, to be honest.
No, but the point
the trust bit, you know.
No, but what the point I'm getting to, Philip, the point I'm trying to make is, if with this news coming out, has that put Levy into a difficult position to sell Kane for the price he wants? Because clubs are going to see this and say, right, we can make any offer we want now.
Why would an article in the Daily Mail, which if they said tomorrow was Tuesday, I wouldn't even believe them.
So,
why would that make any difference? Why would that make any difference? That article is pure rubbish. And okay, it's restating stuff that's been kicked around for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So it's not going to make Daniel Levy accept any less for the player than he's decided. He has his price. He'll sell him at that price. And if Bayern Munich want the player, they're going to have to meet it. So simple as that, really, you know. I just have a thing about certain newspapers. I wouldn't believe the Lord's Prayer from them. And that Daily Mail is one of them. The Sun is another. There are very few accurate reporting, especially when it comes to Tottenham. I'll just go a few. Ellie saying, having Longley is a regress. We should demand better as fans. He's not a player who will stop you conceding. His pace and recovery is not good enough. Best strikers have the pace to burn. Yeah, I'm not talking about coming as a frontline centre back, Ellie. I'm talking about coming as a backup player, a backup centre back who will be reasonably cheap compared to what else 7 or 8 million we get him for. You know. Let's see what else we've got. Ollie is saying. No visit an aircraft, Mrs. K. Yeah, I don't think she'd be on any aircraft in no condition, you know. And David Clark said, any family trust has no power regarding the sale of Harry Kane. The trust only comes into legal power after the passing of Joe Lewis, not while he is alive. Fair, Dave, I'll take your word on. I'm not really an expert on trusts. But
I've heard different to that, and that's what I've been told, completely different to that now.
Yeah,
I've told that.
If we get involved into an argument over trust, it's going to get very legal and technical.
Look, he's still alive, so he still has. But I think he would advise who to say to what to Daniel Levy. I don't think
he can also pass over responsibility if he's. Let me say, his mental competence is coming into question. If he's got Alzheimer's or something like that, he can pass that over to his family to administer on his behalf. So he doesn't necessarily have to make the decision, you know.
No, but he's still the majority owner of Spurs.
There's no doubt in that. There's no doubt in
that. So there, big up David Clark. We've got G-Mac, go on, Phil. You got this. There you go.
Yeah.
Big up to Greg Sealnet as well. Mail Express, don't believe a word.
Yeah, exactly.
Disabled team, big up Derek Hutchinson as well. I haven't seen you for a while, but big up Derek Hutchinson. And disabled team, so it is Lewis who puts a price on a player's head, or is it 100% down to Levy?
No,
I think it's down to Levy. It's down to Levy. Yeah, it is down to Levy. It is 100%. Philip, we don't want an unhappy Kane. Levy should compromise and do the deal.
Yeah, but that compromise and do the deal and keep him, or compromise and let him go. You know, you can go either way on that one.
Yeah, and she's just had a baby shower with all her friends. She's posted it on her Instagram.
All her friend. That one, all her friend.
But I know I am at the low end of financial scale, but haven't gone through the ins and outs of our family trust. Okay,
That's fair enough. I'm standing on your superior knowledge. I don't really know that much about trust.
I'm just saying what I've been told by someone I asked. So that's what he said to me, but I'm not disagreeing what you're saying. Well, McDonald, 400,000. That is a lot of Pampers.
Sure is. I'll tell you.
It is. Now, Philip, look, we'll go through what about his mental and physical condition? That's
for Joe Lewis. I think that's Joe Lewis. It's all about there. Obviously, obviously.
Yeah. It's all 4D chess to raise Kane's global profile. He will sign next week. Or sign for us or sign for Bayern.
Well, we'll sign for somebody.
Yeah. I just want it done now. Sell Kane and let's be I mean, this goes on every summer, doesn't it, Philip? But does Daniel Levy have to take responsibility for? Look, what Jim said, not back in Poch, but not back in managers that have come in, Mourinho, Conte. Getting Mourinho.
Yeah, I think we've agreed.
Getting rid of Mourinho 6 days before a cup final. Look, I think Conte, in hindsight, wasn't the right fit for us. I think that was more to please the crowd when he got Conte in, to be fair. Okay, he got us into a Champions League, but I think that was more to ease the pressure on him when they got Conte in. But he didn't back Conte. Is the funds not there, Philip, for us to buy these players? Or is it more done for ENIC's side of it, investment, instead of investing in the team? Have we not got the money like people think we have?
I think we have the money. I think we have to have the money, but maybe they're trying to keep under financial fair play. Maybe they're just being tight. You just don't know. I mean, it's been a common denominator the whole way down Levy's reign of 20 years that we've never splashed the cash maybe as much as we should have done. You know, so he's at fault for a lot of the things you say there. I happen to think he's not entirely to blame for the Harry Kane situation. He probably has culpability going back a few years by not replacing players that might have helped Harry stay with us. But other than that, I just want the whole saga finished. I want it finished. I want to get up some morning and find there's no mention of Harry Kane, and that would be just marvelous. Let's get on with the rest of our season.
Just a quick thing here. David Clark makes a good point. In the last 23 years, Spurs have been in deeper problems than we are now. Yet Joe Lewis has never came in and overruled Daniel Levy, so he hasn't done it now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Look, where do you stand in this story, Philip? It's being reported everywhere. Now, I was told by the person that we used that it has happened, sort of. That, I read the direct quote that he gave me. And he says, I can 100% confirm that Kate has not been to Germany to look at houses. That is the latest. No, we all know
but that's Bill started that story. Now, God knows what they're carrying this week about it.
Yeah, but what I got told was that the owner has now screwed Levy on any talks over the Kane price by this going public. Who do you think leaked this to the media? Who do you think set this story off and running?
I'm not convinced it's true. I'm not convinced if it's true, but if it is true, it's come from Bayern Munich. Because they've been the ones that have been doing all the moving on this, all the pressing, all the press releases.
Why are you blaming Bayern Munich? Surely, could it not come from Charlie Kane? Could it have not come from that side?
No, because Bayern Munich, ultimately, it could result in Bayern Munich paying less money for Harry Kane. Now, I don't think it will, But anything to keep the price down, they will be actively promoting it. And this would be like a manna from heaven for them to come out with a story like that. Now, I'm not convinced it's true, to be honest with you. I have to say, I'm not convinced. I believe a lot of things, but I think I'm getting a bit skeptical how a board that's or a trust that's administered in the Bahamas, they can find out what happened in it. You know, I'm just skeptical on that one.
What's going on, Philip?
I'm skeptical on that one. But I think I just hope that Daniel Levy stands his ground and does not accept a lesser price for Harry Kane, because he'd be slaughtered if he does. He'd be slaughtered if he goes anyway, but he'd be slaughtered even more if he goes for a lesser fee than we thought we were going to get. You know?
Yeah, look, it's a story that won't go away. But I know you keep blaming Bayern Munich for everything, but
not everything. No, they're the majority shareholder when it comes to blame. They are. They have to be. They have to be.
This fan, go on, Philip, just take it over there for a minute.
This fan has just asked Harry to come out and tell the Spurs exactly what Harry wants to do, or his legacy will be damaged at Spurs. Well, his PR people, David, have told him not to make any statement until the matter is resolved. So I'm not expecting to hear anything from Harry Kane or his people until this saga is over and done with. Then we'll hear plenty. Then the shit will really hit the fan then when the blame game starts. So that's the way that one is. We will hear from Harry Kane eventually, but not yet. So,
Peter,
like I said,
sorry.
Ellie's saying, Peter, yeah, we went so long with that and the way we went. And when we started with the same back line and Poch got the chop, he paid the price. We didn't get a signing for 18 months. So as we built the stadium. Well, the stadium had to be built anyway. The stadium was commissioned since 2012. So, I mean, it was going to happen anyway. It's just the timing was a bit unfortunate that we didn't.
Look, it's a story that should have been nipped in the bud a long, long time ago, Philip. And it's just.
Can we move on to? Let's move on to another subject, because this is. I think we've spent enough on Harry Kane today, really, to be honest with you. And I think there's plenty more to talk about.
Well, then go on then, Philip. What do you want to talk about then?
Well, we have other topics on the agenda that we need to get through
the chat and just finish that off.
And then go through the chat and then we'll finish it off. Yeah. No, it's just like everyone else. I think it's just we can only surmise. The more we surmise about it, the more angry we get about it, and the more annoyed we get. So I think it's going to be nipped in the bud and just for today anyway.
Now, Philip, details of Kylian contract, which includes a Real Madrid clause. Now, I went through this before. Now, this is a breakdown of Kylian's offer. Now, it's 700 million a year, 58.33 million a month, 13.3 million a week, 1.9 million a day. That works out 79,900 an hour. 1,332 a minute, and 22 euro per second. Now, can I have that contract?
Absolute madness. I mean, I don't know. What are they trying to prove? I mean, the guy, how old is Kylian Mbappe? 24? 25?
Yeah, something like that.
If he was 10 years older, I think, go to the Saudi league. But at his age, he'd be mad to go to the Saudi league. Playing, it's like a glorified pub league. I know there's a lot of big players gone there now, but the percentage of homegrown players in that league is still very high, and they're not of a great standard. So, it's madness. And when you think about the poverty in the world, the people hungry in the world, and you see him a footballer earning 700 million a year, it's just obscene. It's absolutely obscene.
I mean, 700 million a year. 58.33 million a month.
Yeah.
I mean,
when he goes to bed,
yeah,
right, he earns about 650 grand every time he closes his eyes for doing nothing. Jesus, it's crazy. It's crazy. And sorry, go on.
And these are the other clubs that are supposed to be interested in him, Philip. PSG believed to interest clubs include Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham. I don't know how Tottenham are interested in him, but never mind. Inter Milan and Barcelona. Now, I know this goes back on the subject you don't want to talk about, but PSG could look if PSG want Harry Kane, right? In some fantasy world, right? Some fantasy land that we're all living in, right? And I've seen pictures all over Twitter. Could you do a swap deal plus 50 million quid? What do you reckon?
I'll tell you, if Harry Kane's salary was going to cause ructions in the Tottenham dressing room, what the hell would this do? No, I mean, he's actually said he's not interested in coming to Tottenham.
No.
And to be honest with you, not one of those clubs there you mentioned can afford him. Not one of them can afford him.
Chelsea could, I would say. And
Todd Bowley might decide he could.
Yeah, but if Man United were taken over by the Qataris, they probably could.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if he's got an offer of 700 million right now, okay, temper it down a bit. I'll go for 50% of that. That's still 350 million. Mm-hmm. No club can afford that. That's their ticket revenue for the year in most clubs.
Yeah.
And how are they going to satisfy financial fair play? Unless they've got some sugar daddy sponsor that can pay the transfer fee. You know, there's not a hope of Mbappe coming to the Premiership. Not a hope. You know?
All right. Question from Ellie. And Ellie knows where we both stand on this. And she's really putting us on the spot, actually. Right. Okay. I'm going to ask it anyway. She's asked us, Philip. So we have to ask it. Question. Joe Lewis, does he really give a sausage about our club? Dermot and Philip, what do you think? Philip, what do you reckon?
It's hard to know because, I mean, Joe Lewis hasn't been in a match in, I think, about 9 years, if you believe some report. I mean, he may have been. Yeah, that's 9 years ago. So if he hasn't been to a match for 9 years, he doesn't give a shit about the club. That's my impression. Because if he was a real Spurs fan, he's bound to have been in London more times in 9 years and didn't bother his head going to a Spurs game. So from that point of view, looks like it's purely a financial transaction for him. He has no love for the club at all.
Does his health stop him from coming? That's, I will say. That if you're playing...
Why would it? Why would it? He's able to go out in his yacht. You know, I mean, in 9 years, I'm sure he's been in London dozens of times that he could have come to a match.
Yeah, but
I don't know if his health causing any problems.
Well, nobody knows. That's the thing, Philip. So, look, I agree with you in some way. Look, yeah, by not coming up, that could show he doesn't care. But the money's put in, gave us a fabulous stadium, world-class stadium. We've got the best facilities in the world in Europe, the whole of Europe. But, we don't know. His health could have stopped him coming out. We just don't know. Look, it's a very difficult question to answer. Look, yeah, you could say on the outside he doesn't give a toss, but he has put money into the club to make us... Look, I look at it this way, Phil. I'm going to be brutally honest here. I don't like talking about this on air because I have my own views and then my private views. But because Ellie's asked the question, I'm going to ask anyway. And if people don't agree with me, then they don't agree with me. If they do, they do. When Enoch and Levy took us over, we were struggling as a club financially. Alan Sugar rescued us 10 years before that from going out of business. So Enoch and Levy have taken us, yes, to the next level. We haven't been successful in that 22-year period. Yes, I agree. We should have won trophies where we didn't. But for a kick here or a kick there, we could have won trophies. If we won the penalty shootout against Man United, we could have won back-to-back League Cups. If a dodgy referee decision in Champions League final, League Cup finals, we should have won, Philip. Semi-finals, we should have won. Yes, the investment in the team has not been great. The 3 years we didn't invest in the club, yes, it's now coming back to bite us on the arse. I agree with that. Yeah. But I think they've tried, but they haven't gone all in, if you know what I mean. They haven't thrown everything at it. It's like a boxer going into a world heavyweight fight, right? And you're coming to the 12th round. You should be knackered. You should be running on empty, but you're still full of energy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They haven't gone all in. Now, for him not being at the games in 2014, maybe his health has let him down. He is 86, 87 years of age. So, but other owners haven't been to matches either. Carl is saying in the chat here, Ben Masor at City never goes to games, and they're doing all right. So big owners don't have to go to games. Daniel Levy's there as his representative, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's my. I know you don't agree with me, Philip, and I know half the chat probably doesn't.
No,
agree
I'm
with
not. I'm not disagreeing with you, Dermot. I'm not disagreeing with you.
That's my opinion. And look, I think for a kick here or kicker, financially off the field, they've made a small they've made us more financially secure than we've ever been in our history of our club. But on the field, we're so behind on other clubs. We really are. But would you rather ENIC and Levy? Let me ask you this question. I hope that answers your question, Ellie. But Philip, let me ask you this one. If Levy and ENIC had done, say, Chelsea or Man United, just spent, would you have been happy with that than what we've had for the last 22 years?
Would I be happy if somebody come in and done a spend?
No, if ENIC and Levy had spent, no, they've spent over 1 billion on transfers. Right?
Yeah,
we did this on the show going back, and they've got a return over 80 million. So they're minus 20 or 30 million loss on transfers. Would you have owned would you have like ENIC and Levy to come in, right, back Poch the hill, let's spend, say, 5, 6, 7 billion on the team. Let's throw everything at it. Right. No, don't bother building the new stadium. Let's stay at White Hart Lane and build a team. Or would you rather have it that we're financially secure, that we're financially stable for the first time in our history, really secure, that we've got other ways of making income for the club?
Well, the way to answer that question is if they throw millions, billions at the club and we built up a team that would have won things, right? Then the extra income from those successes would have allowed us to build the stadium. So, you know, do you know where I'm coming from on that? But we are like a Lumpet. We are probably the best financially run club, maybe in the world. I don't know, right? But that comes back to bite us in the ass. We think we're being unambitious by hanging on to that money, which is true. We are being unambitious. We're being cautious. You'll never see Spurs up on the financial fair play charge. That's for sure. Right. But yeah, your point, maybe I would have liked that. Yeah, maybe we should have lashed out and gone and bought Ronaldo or Lionel Messi in about 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. But it didn't happen. So we'll have to get on with it. But I think the move to the new stadium with the success those players would have brought would have had to be a gimme. We wouldn't be able to stay at the old ground, you know?
Yeah. Seeing Levy is enough. I don't need to see another member of Right, said Fred as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but somebody put up the comment there, which is quite a good one. Joe Lewis is a bit of a recluse. He doesn't go out much, so that's possibly another reason why he doesn't go to the games. Because you can imagine now, Joe Lewis turned up at a game last season. Can you imagine the abuse he would have taken? And that's probably why he doesn't go to the games.
What's the point of a sporting organisation if, although secure, don't win any trophies? Then there is no point in having a sporting organisation. It's pointless.
Well, I mean, we all try to win the trophies. We all try to win. We just haven't been successful at doing it, you
know. If we had better players in them, if we read that one out, Philip, because Ellie ran, I don't.
If we had brought better players in, then those finals, perhaps with better kicks here and there, Dermot, we could have won some of those finals. Of course, we could have. Yeah, I mean, we could have. If we hadn't missed a penalty shootout against United in 2009, that would be another League Cup. If we hadn't been given a penalty against us after 20 seconds or whatever it was in the Champions League final, who knows what would have happened? Because we were the more better team that final. We just didn't score. So you know, life is an awful lot of luck and bad luck associated to it. And I think when it comes to Tottenham, we are due a bit of luck because we haven't had a lot of it when it comes to finals or semi-finals.
Just one last question on this point before we go on to our last subject. Look, a lot of fans would say, look, under Alan Sugar, we're always mid-table, fighting relegation. Not only won one trophy, because Ivan Scholar was chairman when Tottenham won the FA Cup in 1991. He won only one trophy in 1999 because he took over Spurs in the summer after the FA Cup.
That's right.
Do you think do people seem to forget the Sugar years? And do you think it's not the fans use it? Oh yeah, we've got into Europe so many times in a row. We've finished above Arsenal, but that I'll give all that up to win a trophy. You have to be in these competitions to win it. So do you think we've seen more of an upturn under Levy and Enoch than we ever did under Sugar?
Well, it's 12, 13 years in succession in Europe.
Yeah.
That never happened under Levy or under Sugar. We got into the Cup Winners' Cup in 1991, and the UEFA Cup the League Cup Europe in 2019. That was it. So from a European qualification point of view, yes, Enoch have been far more successful, and you got to hand them to that. But back in the 90s, like between 91 and 99, we had some very up and down years. We had the Ozzy Adila scenario, which nearly got us relegated. And much and all as we love Ozzy, he was never a manager, No. And then we had Jerry Francis. Then we had the man in the man in the overcoat, George Graham. And that was a controversial decision by Sugar to bring in an ex-Arsenal manager, but it worked. We got a trophy, So I mean, there you go. Alan Sugar would never be perfect in any Spurs fan's eyes, but I'll always be thankful to him that only for Alan Sugar, we might not have a Tottenham Hotspur today.
And Terry Venables as well, to be fair.
Oh, well, but I'm saying Sugar put up the cash.
Yeah.
He was the one.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Big up to Terry Wright as well. Philip, we won't be going too much longer because I know you need to go, so we won't be too much longer. Very, very, very last quick thing now on Mr. Postecoglou. After his friendly, Philip was called off due to a waterlogged pitch and lovely weather for a Ducks. Can I say thank you for what you did that day with the montage of intros and a bit of talk and a bit of music.
I was winging it. I was totally winging it.
We got so many views for that show, and I'm still wondering why. No offense to you, Philip. I mean, our intros never got shown that much than it did that day.
Yeah, although I was really talking about. It was good. It was funny. Now it was funny, It was. People saw intros I haven't seen before, anyway,
Yeah.
Well, can I just make a comment on that Leicester game? On the Leicester game being called off, I've seen Daniel Levy blamed for a lot of things, but when I see him getting blamed for the weather in Bangkok, I think it's time to throw a line under it. Somebody criticised the club for organising a trip to Thailand during the rainy season, which is fair enough. I think the rain yesterday was completely a lot heavier than it usually is, But it's like saying we're not going to play any Premiership matches in December and January because it might be snowing. It was a calculated risk to go during the rainy season. It was a commercial thing to go. It didn't work out. So what? Move on to Singapore, and we'll I'd say maybe they might arrange another friendly now just to make up for that one. Just to get the legs in the players.
Anyway, Ange said in a press conference after, he says the fog is lifting over Tottenham before seeing pre-season plans disrupted by Leicester friendly being called off due to bad weather. He goes on to say very quickly, Philip, I'm still in that stage where I haven't got a full picture of everything I need to have a real clarity about what we need to do. But in the 12 or 13 days I've been at the club, the fog is lifting, said Postecoglou after losing 3-2 to West Ham in Perth, Australia. I can see more of what needs to be done. The West Ham game revealed some things that you can't see unless you play the first game. That's the main thing for me. I'm really alert at the moment about everything. And he finished off as saying, really disappointing with not being able to play the game tonight. The players myself were already looking forward to it. We had a great welcome here. And obviously, I know a lot of you have travelled far and wide to see the boys in action tonight. Unfortunately, the weather gods were not on our side tonight. Makes good points there, Philip, very quickly that, he knows what he's looking at. He can see what he's looking at. So maybe, hopefully now, he can see the woods from the trees now with some of these Deadwood players.
Yeah, that's why they'll be missing the fact that didn't get to see some of those players in action yesterday will be a bit of a drawback because he is going to, when he gets back to London, he will be making a decision as to who's in the team and who's on the naughty step. Like Joe Rodon has been told he's no future. He was he's gone. So Angie's going to be ruthless. There are going to be players in that squad who must be fearful for their future after this tour is over. So that's what I'm talking about there. Yeah, Joe Rodon.
Yeah, Joe Rodon there has been frozen out. Yeah, Tottenham Hotspur defender Joe Rodon has seemingly been frozen out by new boss Ange Postecoglou. Other bit of news, Philip. Tottenham Hotspur rocked as senior star asked to leave after being enormously seduced by club in a different league. And of course, that is Højbjerg has been told has told Tottenham Hotspur he wants to leave from Madrid in an attempt to lower his own price tag, according to reports, Philip. And last but not least, Kane Mbappe for now among 20 of the best players out of contract in 2024. Any players here you fancy in Tottenham here? This is the first 6. I'd take Dembele.
Take Dembele, yeah. Rabiot, I wouldn't mind him. He's not a bad player either.
Yeah. We've got David Raya. We can get him for free next summer.
Amrabat.
Yeah, maybe that's what Daniel Levy's waiting for.
Maybe.
Get him on the free.
Thomas Suchek wouldn't touch him.
No,
will be Fofana, Monaco, Wan-Bissaka.
I would go for number 17.
Wan-Bissaka, would you?
I would. I like him. I actually quite like him as a player. And then this is a 20. Wilfred.
No, none of them.
Ndidi. Yeah, but they're all players that are out of contract. So there's a lot of players there, Philip. Look,
interesting.
Yeah. But guys, to qualify, is that enough? If we don't win competition and is that class a success, if we don't bring a trophy back when Bill bought 2 European trophies, it's less chance. Well, look, football's different now than it was back then. I don't know if you can look back and say football was the same, but it was different, wasn't it, Philip? Different eras.
It was, yeah.
Every team goes through cycles. This is just our bad cycle at the moment. Man United didn't win the league for 20 odd years. They only won the odd trophy. Man City never won anything before they got took over. Newcastle haven't won anything for 50, 60 years. So these things go in cycles. We will be back. Yeah. We will be back. Yeah. I've all doubted that. Højbjerg twerking for Madrid to go for 40 million apparently. So go now. Go, please.
Actually, you mentioned he was being seduced by Madrid there. I think Ellie's going to have to get working on that now. Try and keep him, try and persuade him to stay.
And Højbjerg out. He doesn't fit the Ange system, yeah. Philip, look, we ended there. Look, thank you very much for coming on and joining me as well. You're not here tomorrow. It's me and Mia tomorrow. And then I think you're back on Wednesday, aren't you?
Back on Wednesday, yeah. Well, we're doing a watch along on Wednesday for the.
Yeah, we're doing the watch along Wednesday.
Sailor Boys game.
Sailor Boys. So keep your hat on and keep tight to your boat. But whatever you do, look, we'd like to finish off on a bit of a laugh. We always do. And Philip, do you want to know? We don't want to say what Fred's up to running away from today.
Let me just see. This is Charlie Kane sitting watching TV when he hears Daniel Levy's at his front door.
The poll is finished, Philip. I've closed the poll. Let me get that now. The poll now. Who's to blame for the Kane mess? Now, who do you think's won the poll?
Oh, I'd say probably have Tottenham down as the main.
Yeah, Tottenham 49%. Everyone 32%. Kane's brother comes in at 11%. And Harry Kane got 5%. He got a vote. Do you think he voted for himself?
Well, if you add all the others up, that's 51% to 49. So it's not Spurs are to blame.
I'm saying Charlie Kane manager wants a chat.
Wants a chat, yeah.
I don't get the date in the first place. Ellie put in. It's like you're out on a date with a great person, but it leads to nothing.
There you are now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for a great show. No problem, Peter. Really enjoy it. Big up Lisa as well. Look, Philip, we're back tomorrow. Any breaking news, you hear it first here on THFC till I die.
Yep.
Philip, how many days to the Premier League season?
Well, it's actually to the start of the 18 days, I think, to the start of the Friday night game. 2.5 weeks.
We might actually
Burnley
do a
versus
watch
Man
along to the
City.
first Premier League game of the season, you know.
Yeah, it's 20 days to our game. I think we're playing on a Sunday.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So Around the Grounds will be back on the Saturday before our game. So that will be back. I'm looking forward to that. I always have a laugh doing that. See, can Billy Rig Rovers or
Bonnie Rig Rose. Bonnie Rig Rose.
Yeah, who else do we follow?
Orient, Leighton Orient.
Leighton Orient, they're up. Yeah. So anyway, but look.
We'll come up with we'll fix some team in a foreign league just for the fun, just to follow them and see how they're getting on. You know, I think the team that got beaten 27-0 by Bayern Munich would be a good one to follow, wouldn't it?
I tell you, I've been looking at the Sailor Boys record. Right, their last game they won 7-0.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that give Tottenham's defense a bit of a going over.
Who would have played Sailor Girls?
Hang on, tell me one thing. Sorry. Kane was seen drinking a German beer in London. Movers now in the next 48 hours. Sky Sports.
Oh, yeah, I think he probably drives a BMW or a Mercedes as well. Actually, BMW are made in Munich. So if you see him in the BMW, he's definitely going to Munich.
He's definitely going to Munich. Well, look, we'll see what happens. Philip's now going to write a personal message to Bayern Munich to tell him what he thinks about them. And I'm gonna go and stick my head, go and have some time with Derval and enjoy the evening. But listen, we're back tomorrow at 4. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon. Look, don't worry, Spurs will be good again. We will win stuff. Whatever you do, come on, you Spurs in Andrew Trust.
Spurs.
Hang on, let me hit that.